Hello there, and welcome to another Genshin discussion. Man, I should find a more creative name for these videos. Well, whatever. What am I going to talk about today? Well, it is one of two theory topics that I want to go over in the next couple videos. That is, what is the Tsaritsa's true plan with the Gnosis? Now, before I begin, this will be just a full-blown theory video, as even though there are some context clues that I will go over, it's essentially possible that it will not even happen this way. Either way, this is the most excited I've been about the story of Genshin since the reveal of the Descenders back in the Sumeru Archon quest. Also, if you do end up enjoying the video, why not leave a like, comment, or even subscribe? So, for those of you that might have forgotten, the Tsaritsa is currently in possession of 6 out of the 7 Gnosis that were owned by the Archons. In each chapter, the Harbingers were able to get 1 or 2 Gnosis. Now, there are 3 chapters left, but only 1 Gnosis remaining. The Tsaritsa will most likely not be the final villain, if she even is revealed as a villain, as there's still the Abyss and Celestia to deal with, where the Abyss we know has villainous tendencies, or is a straight-up villain, and Celestia has done more than a couple questionable things in the history of Teyvat. Even so, what does the Tsaritsa want to do with the Gnosis? Well, I do have a couple theories, out of which one came before the Fontaine reveal, and one is a theory I currently think will end up happening. There's always a possibility of it being different. Let's begin with what I thought she wanted them for, and that is to just use them in the fight against Divinity. The Tsaritsa wants to fight against Divinity, which most likely means taking out Celestia in order to burn the old world, as has been said before. This would require an immense amount of power, as we know that the first Descender was able to fight the Dragon Sovereigns. And it's not even just the first Descender, it's also the second Descender that currently seem to inhabit Celestia. So both of them. And what artifacts would even be able to be easily available to an Archon and would also have immense powers? Well, the Gnosis. I could also see why the Tsaritsa wouldn't have went for Abyssal Power or Forbidden Knowledge, as Piero, being her highest advisor, most likely told her to not go for those kinds of powers, as we have seen what corruption with Forbidden Knowledge or Abyssal Power can lead to, with both what happened to Khaenri'ah and also what happened to the desert civilization that lived in Sumeru. Now, while she's collecting them in order to fight Celestia, I now think that the power given by these Gnosis might not purely be about the 7 elements. With the reveal that the Gnosis are the remains of the 3rd Descender, and also knowing that the 3rd Descender also almost brought ruin to Teyvat, with Celestia still being there, it's highly possible that the power brought by all 7 Gnosis together would be insane. It could be that she still wants to absorb and use this power, or maybe even create an artificial god or being that could wield them. What this power could be? I theorize that it might be the power to absorb other powers. We know that the Gnosis contain the powers of the Dragon Sovereigns, these being the elemental capabilities brought by said powers. So the 3rd Descender would have the ability to absorb and use other beings' powers. There's also the theory that the Tsaritsa is looking to get the Gnosis and free the power from inside of them, thus giving the Dragon Sovereigns their powers back, but also a reason to ally themselves with her against Celestia. We know that Apep hates Celestia and the gods, even if not as much after Nahida's story quest, and also Neuvillette has some grudges remaining with the order that Celestia brought, including the Archons. While this could happen, I do find it less likely than the creation of an artificial being to use power of the Gnosis. Now, this last theory is based mainly on the name of the next chapter, said name being the Incandescent Odd of Resurrection. Now, who could be resurrected? Well, there's a few candidates. Signora could be resurrected and be brought back into the story. Then there are some rumors going around that the Pyro Archon has something to do with rebirth. But now knowing that the third Descender is dead, and its remains are currently being gathered, what if the Tsaritsa is trying to resurrect the third Descender? From what I said earlier, the third Descender is an immensely powerful being. If the Tsaritsa is able to control or convince them to be on her side, it is entirely possible she could win against Celestia. Now, why do I think the name of the chapter could have something to do with this? Well, each chapter until now was pretty much named after what happened in it directly or somewhat indirectly. The Outlander Who Caught the Wind is all about the traveler who started the journey by getting the power of Anemo. Farewell Archaic Lord is about the supposed death of Rex Lapis, but also Rex Lapis leaving Liyue and its affairs in the hands of its people. Omnipresence over mortals is all about the rule the Shogun had over Inazuma, a rule that the people hated but had to follow either as tradition or as law. Truth among the pages of Purana, it reveals what really happened to Rukkhadevata and could also refer to the forbidden knowledge that led to the destruction of the desert civilization. And Masquerade of the Guilty is all about the plot to trick Celestia and save Fontaine by essentially putting on a play. A masquerade, putting on a mask. So with all of those being either literal or as close as it can be, why couldn't the Ode of Resurrection be about the resurrection of the third Descender? Also that way, interestingly enough, all Descenders would be alive at the same time. Of course, if the first and second are still alive up in Celestia. The only thing that kinda goes against this is, why were the Gnosis scattered? If it was in order to keep the third Descender from resurrecting themselves, why isn't Celestia doing anything to stop the Tsaritsa? They did send celestial nails to multiple civilizations and also send Archons to stop Khaenri'ah back during the Cataclysm, but why is this one different? This could lead into the fate theory and Celestia knowing that the Tsaritsa would fail in her endeavor, that being a possibility. We still don't know the first and second Descender's motivations for changing Teyvat to what it is today and why they even came to this world to begin with. In the case of the Traveler and their sibling, they were just exploring different worlds, but who knows? Maybe the prior Descenders came with more evil intentions. So the Tsaritsa is getting the Gnosis together to either get their powers or to resurrect the third Descender, if that's what Natlan's chapter title talks about. Still weird that Celestia hasn't tried to stop this, but who knows what 4D chess 200 IQ moves they have in mind. Anyways, that's it from me, and I will see you next time, where I will talk a bit about what is Celestia doing with all the people who ascend to it. Where are all the Allogenes and what are they doing? Anyway, thanks for watching.